The confirmed number of new coronavirus cases reported in Los Angeles County in the last 24 hours is 3,498, with 28 additional deaths. Here in Torrance, 25 additional cases were reported and no new deaths. Welcome to COVID-19 Today. I'm Bella Shaw. It's Thursday, August 12th. You may need to show proof of at least partial vaccination against COVID-19 to enter most indoor public places in Los Angeles soon. Los Angeles city officials voted to have the city attorney prepare an ordinance requiring people to show they've been vaccinated with at least one dose to enter places like restaurants, bars, gyms, concert venues, movie theaters, and even retail stores. The ordinance would be similar to a policy recently announced in New York City, but would be more restrictive with the inclusion of retail establishments. The New York policy restricts access only to more entertainment-oriented venues, such as restaurants, fitness centers, and theaters. LA City Council members urged the County Board of Supervisors to enact the same policy as the city, so there is consistency across businesses in the area. The city's next step is to create an implementation strategy and then report back to the council with a course of action for ensuring compliance. Some of the most recognizable music venues across the country will soon require proof of vaccination beginning in October. AEG Presents, a global leader in concerts and live events, announced today that they will require proof of vaccination for entry into its owned and operated clubs, theaters, and festivals. Now, this comes on the heels of the recent spike in COVID-19 cases due to the highly transmissible Delta variant. AEG Presents is either an owner or partner in iconic venues and festivals such as New York's Webster Hall and Brooklyn Steel, the Roxy and El Rey Theaters in Los Angeles, the Theater at Resorts World in Las Vegas, Firefly Music Festival, Day in Vegas, the New Orleans Jazz and Heritage Festival, and Coachella Music and Arts Festival. The company added that the policy will remain open-ended and may be changed or reversed. People with compromised immune systems may be able to get added protection soon. The U.S. Food and Drug Administration is expected to amend the emergency use authorization for the Pfizer and Moderna COVID-19 vaccines to allow those higher at risk to get a third dose. The move comes after a panel of advisors to the U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention met last month and urged action on extra doses for immunocompromised adults. Doctors say many are still vulnerable to COVID-19 following vaccination. The CDC says an estimated 2.7% of adults in the United States are immunocompromised, which consists of people with chronic illnesses like type 1 diabetes or asthma, those undergoing cancer treatments, organ transplant recipients, smokers, or those with HIV/AIDS. The CDC is urging all expecting mothers to get the COVID-19 vaccine after hospitals across the U.S. are showing an uptick of unvaccinated mothers getting seriously ill with the virus. Officials say pregnant women run a higher risk of severe illness and complications from the coronavirus, including stillbirths and even miscarriages. According to CDC data, only 23% of pregnant women have received at least one dose of a COVID-19 vaccine. CDC Director Dr. Rochelle Walensky assures the public that the vaccines are safe and effective, and it has never been more urgent to increase vaccinations as we face the highly transmissible Delta variant and see severe outcomes from COVID-19 among unvaccinated pregnant people. The CDC's advice echoes recent recommendations from top obstetrician groups. While the agency had previously encouraged pregnant women to consider vaccination, they did not officially recommend it. The new advice applies to nursing mothers and women planning to get pregnant as well. Well, if you've heard the phrase, too good to be true, that may be the case when finding cheap used cars online. The Department of Motor Vehicles says cars are increasingly being stolen and then put online to sell on platforms like Facebook Marketplace or OfferUp at below market value costs. The consumer warning comes as car buyers are moving to used cars due to a shortage of new vehicles for sale. According to the DMV, in many cases, criminals will change the vehicle identification number and create a fraudulent certificate of title before advertising it online. The cars will often be marked well below market value, taking thousands of dollars off what it normally is worth and telling potential buyers they already have several offers and they better move quickly. Officials say be sure to do some research, like looking online for the VIN history report or asking the seller to provide one. Compare the name of the owner on the title to the name of the seller. Insist on meeting at a DMV office to complete the sale and transfer. And if the offer does seem too good, to ask to make the sale in a public place, like at the police station. The National Coalition Stop AAPI Hate released a new report today that found more than 9,000 anti-Asian incidents were reported since the pandemic began. Stop AAPI Hate is the leading authority on gathering data on racially motivated attacks related to the pandemic. From March 2020 to June 2021, 9,081 incidents were reported, with nearly half reported last year and more than 4,500 just this year alone. The reports collected by Stop AAPI Hate are from the victims themselves or someone reporting on their behalf. Overall, the report found verbal harassment and shunning and interactions that don't qualify legally as hate crimes made up 2 largest shares of total incidents, and physical assaults made up 1/3 of the incidents. More than 63% of the incidents were reported by women, and roughly 31% took place on public streets and 30% at businesses. A brand of frozen stuffed chicken is being recalled for possible salmonella contamination. Serenade Foods is pulling back more than 59,000 pounds of frozen, raw, breaded, and pre-browned stuffed chicken products. Under the label, some of the products include chicken with broccoli and cheese and chicken cordon bleu. The USDA's Food Safety and Inspection Service has been working with the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention and public health partners to investigate a multi-state outbreak of 28 salmonella illnesses in 8 states. Now, salmonella is one of the most common bacterial foodborne illnesses. Common symptoms include diarrhea, abdominal cramps, and fever within 12 to 72 hours after eating contaminated products. The illness usually lasts 4 to 7 days, and most recover without treatment. Consumers are urged to not eat these items and throw them away or return them to the place of purchase for a full refund. Reports show now there are more jobs to fill than workers available. The Department of Labor reported there are 8.7 million potential workers who are unemployed and looking for jobs. Around the same time, job placement site Indeed estimated 9.8 million job vacancies. Companies have been getting creative to hire the best candidates by offering sign-on bonuses, higher salaries, and flexible working arrangements. Human resources experts say this is one of the most complex labor markets in recent history, and employers are essentially having to buy back job applicants' COVID lifestyle. A recent survey from Gallagher, a company providing insurance, risk management, and consulting services, shows that some employers are willing to go the extra mile during this pandemic era to onboard the workers they need. 41% of them said they're offering enhanced benefits. 19% of them now offer pet insurance, a perk that's expected to rise to 27% of companies in the next 2 years. They're also providing discount programs, legal services, identity theft protection, and of course, medical and pharmacy benefits. Job growth has been surging in recent months, with July showing an addition of 943,000 payrolls, the biggest spike since August of 2020. Still, hiring experts say there are 6.1 million less Americans working now than in February of 2020, and a lot more work needs to be done to fill the vacant positions. The number of new weekly jobless claims took another drop this last week as the labor market continues to recover from the pandemic. The U.S. Labor Department released its weekly report, which showed its weekly jobless claims came in lower than expected, falling just under 3 million for the first time since mid-March 2020. So far, there are no signs that the resurgence of COVID-19 infections, mainly due to the highly infectious Delta variant, has not disrupted economic activity, with nearly half of the U.S. population fully vaccinated. As businesses have reopened to normal operating hours and customers have returned to shopping and dining out, the Labor Department's July job report, which will be released tomorrow, expects to show that nearly 850,000 new jobs have been added to the workforce last month. According to the report, companies are posting job openings at a record pace with 9.2 million jobs just in May alone. Theater chain AMC will accept Bitcoins as payment by the end of this year. They made the announcement this week saying customers could purchase movie tickets and concession items online using the cryptocurrency. AMC will also begin to accept Apple Pay and Google Pay. CEO Adam Aron says the decision comes after his position on the board of Centricus Acquisition Corp led him to study cryptocurrencies and blockchain technology. He says the added knowledge gave him the confidence to share that AMC will have the information technology systems in place to accept Bitcoin. AMC has had an interesting year so far. The company got swept up in the Reddit-fueled fight against Wall Street, where its stock skyrocketed from just over $2 per share to almost $20 in less than a month. On this past Tuesday, it opened at $36.90. And as we know, cinemas in general took a huge hit during the pandemic as new releases got pushed back and people stayed at home. As cryptocurrencies become more mainstream, a growing number of companies are beginning to explore how to incorporate them into their businesses. AMC joins giants like PayPal, Wikipedia, Burger King, Subway, and Microsoft in accepting the digital coin. Well, as we wrap up this week, you can watch Weekends in Torrance beginning Friday right here on Citi Cable. Be sure to tune in at 2 p.m. tomorrow, Saturday and Sunday for new episodes. On Friday, we're taking you behind the scenes of Nonsense, the mega musical just in time for opening night, which is tomorrow. This will be the first in-person production at the Armstrong Theater since its COVID-19 shutdown. Then on Saturday, meet a small business owner who says she is busier than ever after reopening her clothing boutique during the pandemic. She shares how COVID-19 is changing the way people shop, especially when it comes to outfits for the office. And on Sunday, we'll share with you how two sisters are emerging from this pandemic with their floral business. You won't want to miss their story. Weekends in Torrance kicks off tomorrow at 2 p.m. You can find us on Spectrum Cable, Channel 3, Frontier Files, Channel 31, streaming on our website as well as on YouTube. Well, before we go at the end of each program, we like to share feel-good stories from our community. Pictures, images, and videos that remind us of how resilient our community is and how Torrance truly cares. Well, there's a great volunteer opportunity taking place this weekend. Helpers are needed for a park beautification event this Saturday. If you're able and willing, Realtor Jenna Christensen can use your help on Saturday, August 14th from 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. at Seaside Heroes Park. The park was unveiled in 2011 and pays tribute to 3 Torrance soldiers who lost their lives while serving our country in Afghanistan and Iraq. The space is also a place where residents and visitors can remember all veterans. Volunteers should plan to bring some tools and gloves, sunscreen, and water. And if you're a student, you can get community service hours for your participation. For more information, you can call 310-920-9387. What a great way to show how the community cares for its parks and open spaces, as well as for our veterans. Now, if you have a great story, upcoming event, a photo or video you'd like to share, email us at covid19today@torranceca.gov. We'd love to hear from you. Well, that's our update for COVID-19 today. Have a wonderful weekend. We'll see you back here on Monday to bring you the latest. Be safe, stay healthy, and thanks so much for tuning in. We'll see you next time.